Hi everyone, welcome back. I am Sandy if you're new, and this is part 2 of my mask making for Christmas cards. And I am at the next phase, so if you didn't see part 1, I'll list it down below, but I inked and then embossed all these, and I cut them down to 5.5 tall by 4 inches wide. And I have a couple that I had actually made last year that I actually embossed the card, on the card itself. These I am going to glue down to card bases. So one of the things that I've done is I went and got my distress crayons out, and I thought I would play around on some of them. And so this is one of the yellow ones here that I made, and I just took the distress crayons and I just rub them onto the card and then smoosh it out with my finger. So I did the shiny bauble, I did merriment, and I did fresh balsam. And so I just kind of went around and did that. And then on this one, I took my antique paste that is gold and just rubbed it over the ornaments to just kind of have them pop a little bit. And then on this green one, I took a red ornament. This is tart cranberry, and I just went over the red over the ornaments with the red and then the green background. And then I went with fossilized amber and just kind of went on the chain. So I really like how that turned out. And then I had just a plain white one, and I just went over it with the tart cranberry and cocktail party. And then I did shiny bauble and merriment, and just went over those. So lots of different options of using the distress crayons to jazz up the ornaments on these different embossed folders. So I like how they came out. And then I was looking at the other ones. I don't know if I'm going to do any more of that on these, just because I like it like this as well. I think that was a fun experiment to try with these, and I like how that came out. And I may come back and do this to more of them, but what I wanted to move on to next was the getting them onto the cards so that I can kind of do the final decorating. So what I wanted to show you to do, if you don't have any cards, you can easily make them. So these are 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper. And what I did is I cut them down to 8 inches. So on the 8.5 side, I cut it down to 8 inches. So this now measures 8 inches perfectly. And then it's 11 inches tall, so then I cut it right in half at the 5.5. So then that gives you this perfect 4-inch card by 5.5 inches tall. And I have these cut down to that. And so some of these need a little bit more trimming, and so I'm going to trim them up and then get them glued down to the front of the card. And then on the inside, I'll just stamp a sentiment and maybe put some stickers on the inside. And then the other thing I wanted to do is I might put some other little image on the front of these. So that's all I'm going to do next. I'll do it off camera because that's kind of the boring part. So literally, once you have your card base, then you want to just glue this down. And you can use double-sided tape. That's probably the easiest thing to do, I feel, is just use some double-sided tape. And I believe I have some. So I might get my double-sided tape out and then just tape this down to the front and then do some trimming. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it down and then I'll trim where I need to trim. And then I'll come back and do the finishing decorating part with you guys, and we'll go from there. I thought I would show you one card of me putting the tape. I do a tape and a glue combo. So this is some double-sided tape I have. It's pretty old, but it still seems to be working. So I just go along the edges. And apply the double-sided tape. And then I'll do along this side, but I do it in a little bit. And what I do along the edge is I'll do a combination of glue stick here, and I'll also do some wet glue, but I want to take these off. So I rub these a little bit to get the paper to release. And then I use my little pick here to pick the paper off. And so you want it to leave the glue behind, the tape behind. And once you get it started, it comes off. So then the next thing I want to do is just run a little bead of my reptile glue. And this just gives me a little bit of time to get the card lined up, because with the double-sided tape there's not a lot of forgiveness there, and so I just use this to give me just a little bit of time to get things lined up. And then I take my card topper and line it up as straight as I can on the edge, and then I lay it down. I don't always get it perfect, but I'll get it close enough, and then I'll rub on that side of it. There you go. And then I'll ink up around the edges just to hide up any of the white. I'll just find a pink that I have that's close, or a color that's close to whatever the top is. So that just took a couple minutes. So I'm going to continue to do that for all of the cards that I have, and then we'll come back to the decorating part. It has been about an hour, and I got all of these card fronts glued onto these cards. And so now I just need to do a little decorating on the front, add a little sentiment on the inside, and we'll be good to go. So I think these all look so good. Love it. There's a little trimming and inking that I might have to do. Like, this is a little short, so I'll trim that up, but that won't take very long at all. So I think these turned out great. And then I have another stash where I cut these down smaller than 4 by 5.5. And so I just glued these onto the card. So here's another example. And so I'm going to let these dry. And once they're dry, then I'll do a trim, and then I'll do a fold. But these, so like that needs a little bit of a trim there. So for whatever reason, maybe because the embossed folder was a little bit off, I maybe trimmed it just a little bit too close to the edge. That looks pretty good, actually. So I'm excited. So there's 24 of these. Yeah, 24 or 25. And so the next step is I'm going to trim them up, ink them up, and then I have a whole bunch of different little die cuts and digital files. So I'm going to go through and play around with these, and I have more off camera, and just find something really cute, you know, to put on the front of the card. Like, I think that would look really cute like that. So all different kinds of options and ideas. So that'll be the next thing that I'll play around with. I do like this idea of mass making because I got all of the ink sprays done at once, so I don't have to be getting those back out if I was doing these in smaller batches or doing one at a time. So I think that's a really, I like this mass making for these cards. And then I just did a mass assembly of the card fronts onto the card bases. And then next I'll do some of the inking up and a little trimming, and then the final decorating. I have trimmed these up and inked up some of the white areas on the edge of the cards. And next up, I pulled out just a bunch of different die cut scraps that I had in my stash from last year, and have started playing around with which images I like on which cards. So like I have this one to go on the blue one. I have this one here on the green one. And several of these images, like this one and these here, are from Sweet Pea Curiosities, one of her Christmas kits. So if you want to check that out, I'll link below the video I did making a journal with these digitals, so you all can check that out. But I think these will be really cute. So just going very simple, because I still want the background to show quite a bit, and then I'll go and decorate the inside. But I think these are coming together quite nicely. I might even put these on here. I think that's cute. I don't know if you can tell the background of this. I think goes very nicely with that. So I will just ink these up, the ones that I think need some ink around the edges, and then glue these on. And then I'll come back and show you. This one, I want to use it because I like it, but it's covering up most of the cover, so I'm a little bit torn on whether, I mean, I could put it on the inside like that, but yeah, sorry if I'm blinding you. So that's the next step. So I need to trim this one down too. So that's the next step. So I will go through and glue these on, and then we'll move on to the next step. I have finished decorating the cover of these, and so I'll kind of quickly go through them. So I've added a little bit of lace or trim on some of these. Here, a little gold trim. And I like this 'Tis the Season. I decided to put it on the front because I liked it so much. And then this cute little sticker. So I matted it onto some cardstock and then glued that on there because it's a sticker, and I thought trying to put the sticker on the embossing, it might not stick very well. And then here's another one. Added the Merry Christmas across the top. Yeah, so grab your scraps out of your stash. They can add a little bit of interest. And then here's some of the teal and mint ones. I love these little scenes. This little girl, and I made this a top pocket, so I might slide a little card down in there. Another little reindeer. And then these are cut aparts from a paper pad, and they have a little hint of blue as the background, and then this is a little hint of green, so I thought those would work well. And then this polar bear I thought looked great, and this winter wonderland, and this oh so jolly, and I added a little bit of lace on the side. And then this, I love the silver stars on here, went well with this one. And I decided to leave this one plain, but I put that on the inside. And then we have this Santa. This was a tag, so I cut the top part off and then matted it on some cardstock. Here I took another scrap of paper behind the angel, and then just a very simple cut apart. And then same thing, tag, cut it down and matted it. And I love how cozy this looks. And this is one of my favorite images, like the ornaments with the ornaments, and added a little lace. And then this cute little reindeer. I love this little house scene, and put some lace behind it with all the snow, and used the snow embossed card. And then this little reindeer with the little girl. So sweet on this, I forget what this one's called, but it's such a pretty color. It's a new one this year. And so now I'm going to get my stamps out, and I'll stamp the inside, and then just write a little Merry Christmas sentiment. I have finished stamping the inside of my cards, and I'll show you those here in a second. But what I wanted to show you, if you have a stamping pad, a stamping station, this is a We Are Memory Keepers one, and I picked this up at Tuesday Mornings a long time ago. It really makes stamping quick and easy. And the trick is to figure out a placement for your card, and then you line up your stamps. And once you've stamped your first card, you'll have your stamps on this stamping platform. Then after you stamp your first card, you just remember which lines you've lined your card up onto, and then you could just put your next card down and line it up in the same spot. Put your little magnets down, and then ink up your stamps, and then you're ready to stamp again. So it goes really quickly. So if you don't have a stamping station, this one, I don't think it's too expensive, and I think I saw it at Joann's. So if that's something you're interested in. But I got the cards all stamped. So I did two types. I did the wreath with the Merry Christmas, and I did it in different colors depending on the cover of the card. So here, this is a walnut stain. I really think that's pretty, very vintagey. So I did that, and then I also did it in this burnt or fossilized amber for the yellow ones. And then for the pink and red ones, I did a red, and I changed to the bells. So I did the wreath and the bells, and I did the Santa on a couple of the red ones. And these are all the Tim Holtz stamps. And then I changed to the green for these mint colored ones, because I don't really have a mint stamp. So, and then I did the wreath. And then for the pink ones, I did the bells, and I used pink. That was Kitsch Flamingo, and then this is Candied Apple. So now I just need to sign them and then put them in the envelope and get them on their way. I did the navy with this silver one. So that is, I'm going to wrap up this mask making video part 2, and hope it inspires you to make some Christmas cards and actually have, you know, use some different materials. So here I used the Tim Holtz sprays, and I did some embossing on the cards, and then used some of my distress crayons, and then some of my different little stickers and die cuts, things that I had in my stash. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye.